I really love when wedding bells and monsters meet each other. And so when you see a monster in a wedding dress, I get quite happy. Throughout film history, we've had a number of very iconic monster brides, but none more so iconic and none that really kicked off a genre than 1935's The Bride of Frankenstein. The Bride of Frankenstein really picks up on a subplot that is there in Mary Shelley's original novel. The monster forces Victor Frankenstein to make him a mate. We don't see this in the first film, it's only in the sequel, and it's a concept that James Whale, with Boris Karloff as the monster, really runs with. If we thought in 1931 that Karloff's monster would be the most iconic monster of all time, we didn't realize by 35 that we'd have an even greater monster, and that is Elsa Lanchester's The Bride. This is really a beautiful and terrifying performance, and I'd have to say that Lanchester kind of outshines Boris Karloff in this film. The idea of monsters mating is terrifying, of course, but what's really fascinating about The Bride of Frankenstein is that the bride rejects her mate. These are two people or two monsters that are supposed to be together, and they never will be. The Bride of Frankenstein would crop up in a lot of movies thereafter, and none more so than 1998's The Bride of Chucky.
Well, hello, Dolly.
1998's The Bride of Chucky is the fourth installment in the Child's Play franchise, and it really ups the monster game by giving us two fantastic monsters.
With this ring, I thee wed.
Here we see Chucky resurrected by the serial killer's girlfriend. She finds him in an evidence locker and he's all stitched together. She basically Frankensteins him and then resurrects him, but realizes that when he's not treating her so well, kind of throws him away. Chucky, though, of course, always gets the last laugh, and he transforms this character of Tiff Valentine, played so beautifully by Jennifer Tilly, into a monster.
I promise to love, honor, and cherish till death do us part.
You got that right.
It's a great sequence where the actress is taking a bath, watching The Bride of Frankenstein on TV, and of course gets electrocuted. Chucky then resurrects her in this bridal doll, and so we get our first instance of a doll monster mixed in with a bride monster.
You got your wish. You're mine now, doll. And if you know what's good for you, you are going to love, honor, and obey.
There's a really great bridal makeover session in this film where we see Tiffany kind of become this punk, goth bride. If Tiff from The Bride of Chucky is the ultimate 90s bridal monster, then if we look to the 1980s, there is one monster that really stands out when it comes to weddings and monstrosity, and that is Greta Gremlin, aka Lady Gremlin. Greta Gremlin is a whole lot of gremlin, and she's a whole lot of woman. She steals the show in Gremlins 2, The New Batch. It would be very hard to kind of take the spotlight away from the main villain in The New Batch, which is Mohawk, but Greta does it. She is the film's star, and she's given a lot of star power. In her incredible musical sequence, which is very Busby Berkeley, we really see her exhibiting a lot of old Hollywood glamour. In a world where gremlins are terrorizing everyone, Greta is the lone survivor. Really, after the Gremlins massacre, it's only Greta that survives, and I think it might be because she's very pure of heart. She really wants to get out there, and she really wants a love life. She's not interested in terrorizing the way that the other Gremlins are. She really just wants her love story to come true. There's a moment in this film where you realize that the man she wants to marry, played by Robert Picardo, is kind of coming around to it. She's been very sexually threatening to him, but by the time she's actually wearing the veil and walking up to him as his bride, he kind of acquiesces. Anytime you have a bride as a monster, they're always going to overshadow their mate. And this is an example of multiple franchises that use a bride in a sequel to really outdo the original film. It turns out that the bride is always going to have the final word.